Hello, I'd like to welcome you to the Harvard Combined Orthopedic Residency Program. My name is Chris Bono, and I'm the Program Director of HCORP. In this video, you're going to learn something about our faculty and residents, and what you should learn is the same thing that I have observed, is that they are extraordinary people. They're extraordinary in their aspirations, in their actions, in their past history, in their education, and aspirations for what they want to be beyond residency.
I believe that our program offers excellence in just about everything. It's a big program filled with some incredible faculty that are extremely accomplished in every domain. And they are some of the best mentors and the greatest teachers that I've been experiencing as I chaired the department here at the Brigham. And the folks that end up here, I think, gravitate towards those mentors who are the best teachers in the world, in my opinion.
The most exciting thing to me about HCORP is who I'm surrounded with. Not a day goes by where I'm not shaking my head thinking this is the ultimate imposter syndrome. Here I am leading one of the institutions at HCORP, and I'm surrounded by incredibly talented people. It inspires me to do better, and it excites me the fact that my role is to actually mentor and help both faculty and residents get to their optimal outcome. To me, that's incredible for job satisfaction, as I recognize I have a huge opportunity and have been given a platform to help succeed.
Perhaps what I am most proud of the program is the ability for our leadership, our faculty, our support staff throughout all the institutions to come together with the primary goal of making the educational experience to our residents unique and outstanding. If you consider that we are actually separate institutions, actually belonging to separate healthcare systems that are competitors, the fact that we can come together with such a noble goal is very impressive and something that I'm very proud of. It is unusual, particularly in a large educational system like Harvard is, to have that degree of collaboration, and for that collaboration to have been ongoing for so many years.
What inspires me most about Harvard is the people. People here are smart, they are hardworking, they are kind, and they never quit.
The residents in this program are endlessly inspiring. They are honestly the reason I get out of bed and come to work some days. They ask me questions, sometimes challenging questions, sometimes questions I can't answer, because they are always thinking about what they're doing, about what we're doing together, and it helps me to be a better surgeon and a better doctor.
For me, HCORP is a place where there's really tremendous opportunity. I think if there's anything you want to do, you can do it, which I think is a real advantage of this program. We're lucky to have Boston Children's, strong oncology at most of our hospitals. Really any specialty that you could think of, we have it. I think that's a really unique thing and something that we're lucky to have here. I think too that, aside from the clinical side of things, we have pretty limitless resources in terms of research, different sorts of procedures that are done here and maybe nowhere else. And I think it's just a great place to be. It's a good group of people who really care.
I think the Harvard Orthopaedic Residency offers a really unique opportunity to train with some of the best surgeons in the world and in some of the best hospitals in the world. But more than that, in one of the most unique and we hope supportive learning environments that we could possibly create for you.
As a member of the leadership, I'm most proud of the changes we make in the program. We're constantly moving rotations around, changing different electives to make it that much better for residents based on feedback.
So every residency will teach you to operate, and ours certainly will teach you to operate. And every residency will teach you to think, of course, but the special mix we have here where you learn really the same set of skills again and again from different people who have sometimes almost radically opposite ways of approaching it, forces each learner to really synthesize everything that they know about a given problem. And the result of that is an incredibly flexible, versatile, and resilient intellect. And it's really a pleasure just to see how smart our residents are by the time they're done here.
I think having come from Pittsburgh, where I did almost 28, 29 years of service, and coming to the Harvard program, I think there are outstanding candidates everywhere, but I have to tip my hat to the Harvard trainees because they are just outstanding individuals in every way. They are particularly accomplished in non-orthopedic endeavors, which makes them even more uniquely interesting in terms of bringing diversity to our program.
One of the qualities that I think we really focus on here is being a good doctor as well as a good surgeon. And I think of the residents that have rotated with me on the trauma service over the last few years, and they're all phenomenal. They take really good care of their patients. Again, they're people that I would be happy taking care of my family. And that's the kind of people that we want to foster here. Not just good surgeons, that's a given, and you really have to have excellent technical skills, but the second half of it, which I think is harder to teach, and a lot of the residents come with this already, is just this innate compassion and empathy, and they're just good physicians.
The best thing about this program is definitely my co-residents. We have a great group of residents here. Even though we're 60 people strong, we're close and we hang out outside of work, and being at work is honestly way more fun because they're here. So that's one of the reasons why I came here, and definitely one of the reasons why I'm happy now.
HCORP was my #1 choice for a number of reasons. I think this program is very unique in that you get the opportunity to rotate at 4 level 1 trauma centers, and all 4 hospitals are obviously some of the best in the nation. So it's a really fabulous experience to get a ton of exposure to lots of different kinds of orthopedics. I think with being at 4 different hospitals, you get exposure to many different attendings and therefore many different ways to do things. And so you really have the opportunity to tailor your training and sort of take tidbits from certain attendings and meld your own future practice.
I think intern year is tough anywhere you go in the country. It's full of learning new things, doing the first reduction, the first this, the first that. So it's been a huge opportunity to learn a lot of different things that I never really knew about, and it has been a really great experience. I think the biggest surprise has been how great the residents and things have been here to help me to go through that learning curve. I was expecting it to be just really difficult and really miserable, honestly, but my co-residents and everyone have just been incredible. The faculty have gone out of their way to make me feel included and welcomed, and it's been a really great experience.
HCORP is a really big program, so I think it's natural to worry about getting lost in a big program, not feeling close to the other residents, but that's not actually something that I felt at all. We have a lot of events and traditions that keep us close as a residency. One of my favorites is on Friday mornings. The residents who are on overnight call Thursday night go out for kegs and eggs together, a little breakfast, so you see all your friends at the other hospitals. Another thing that I really love is we have these little wolf packs that we rotate around with intern year, and it's a little group of 4 of you that you become really close with, and even when you go off to different hospitals, there's still a bond between your wolf pack, and I think that helps a big program seem a little more intimate.
I believe one of the biggest strengths of our program is the multiple sites and multiple exposures we have to various areas, to orthopedics and to different attendings. I believe that this makes us an adaptable candidate to be able to practice orthopedics anywhere. I think we can be dropped anywhere in any hospital under any circumstance, and we will be able to succeed. We also develop leadership skills because of having to be exposed to constant, diverse and varying and changing environments. And I think that's one of the biggest skills and strengths. Being exposed to many different sites as well as many different attendings will show us various opportunities or various experiences that I think will make us succeed in the future. And I believe that all of these things are what has made me really feel strongly about the orthopedic training I am achieving and will make me successful in the future.
I think HCORP has really worked hard to promote a sense of diversity and inclusion. And it's really one of my favorite parts about the residency program. I look around our resident workroom and I see
friends and colleagues from all walks of life. There are differences geographically, ethnically, professional interests, as well as their past experiences in life. We've got former athletes, we've got people who've worked in business and finance, former nurses, and really everybody brings to the table a unique perspective. And one of the things that the program has really succeeded at is bringing together all these people from various walks of life that have assimilated into this HCORP family and have really contributed to a special environment here. And I think it sets the example for orthopedics in the future, that there's really no orthopedic stereotype. All are welcome, and with that push towards diversity, we'll all be better for it.
In our programs here, both at the adult and children's hospitals, we are referral centers and see patients from all over the country and all over the world who have a really complex mix of problems. We see a lot of the bread and butter trauma and other musculoskeletal problems as well that often come from the local area around Boston. But many of the patients that we're seeing do have really complex issues that aren't cared for in many places around the world.
I was fortunate when I started my residency to be actually the last class that Henry Mankin handpicked back in the mid-90s. Dr. Mankin had a very strong, honest interest in diversity, but that was very rare in orthopedics. If you contrast the classes from those years at Harvard compared to other institutions nationwide, there was a very strong difference in terms of diversity. Since then, this drive towards improving diversity has become an integral part of the Harvard program.
I'm really proud of our reputation at Harvard for being the place where diverse candidates and women and other underrepresented groups in orthopedics come to train and where they succeed and thrive. And that's been the result of a very deliberate effort by myself and all of the leadership here, as well as by all of our current trainees, to be as welcoming and inclusive as we can be.
The pediatric orthopedic experience at Boston Children's is perhaps not like many others in other orthopedic training programs. We have a very large department of over 20 or 25 attending surgeons. And with that size comes our ability to do some subspecialty care, both on the clinical side as well as in terms of our academic or research interests. So if you look at the pediatric orthopedic experience, our trainees and our residents in particular have the opportunity to work with pediatric hand surgeons, pediatric spine specialists, people who care exclusively for the child or adolescent athlete. We find that to be very unique. We find that it allows us to provide really high quality care for our patients. And I think our residents really benefit from that exposure and that experience in the course of their training.
One advantage that Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center offers our residents in the program is a closer opportunity to work directly on one-to-one mentorship roles with attendings. Part of the reason this is like this is because we have fewer fellows than some of the other groups, but also the culture of the BI has always been very resident-friendly and resident-inclusive.
I came back to HCORP after I left to go to Seattle to do fellowship, and HCORP was a place that felt like home for me. I have a great network of mentors who were above me in a hierarchical sense when I was a resident, and now we're at the same level. And it's an amazing place where you will feel heard, and it doesn't matter what level you are, your opinions will get heard, they'll often be implemented. Everyone is learning and trying to get the most from each other. So although sometimes medicine can feel like a hierarchy, at HCORP I think we spend a lot of time trying to make sure that we're all on a level playing field, that everyone brings something important to the table, and that we all have something to learn. And that's the kind of place where I really wanted to work and grow and thrive.
One of my favorite things about being on the trauma service is that we're the home base for the residents. They come and rotate with us as interns, second years, third years, fourth years, and fifth years. And so we really get a chance to see and watch them grow and progress through their whole training. And so I think that's one of the unique features of the trauma service that isn't always present on the other services. And to me, it's what really makes this fun, because we have these really bright, energetic interns that start and they grow into fantastic surgeons over 5 years.
So I'm doing fellowship in foot and ankle surgery. I have been exposed to really the foremost leaders in the field of foot and ankle surgery. We spend time at Brigham and Women's and Beth Israel and Children's and MGH, and each one of those places in their own right have some truly preeminent leaders in foot and ankle surgery, in every subspecialty. And I think one of the great things about this place is that no matter what you decide to go into, there are faculty here to support you in that endeavor. And for me, in foot and ankle, I have found mentors and friends, frankly, that are going to help me as I develop a career as a clinician, both sort of academically as well as surgically. And I know that I can always call them with questions or concerns, and they've really taken a lot of time to make sure that I'm ready.
As a resident, we get a very strong clinical experience, both in terms of the operating room and also consults. There is some degree of graduated responsibility, but really as a PGY4, I feel extremely comfortable doing a wide variety of cases. One of the benefits of being at HCORP is that you get exposure to a wide breadth and complexity of cases that you may not have the chance to see elsewhere, and that's in thanks part to the strength of some of the other specialties that we have at our institutions.
Surprisingly, as big as the residency is and how spread out we are among the hospitals, there is this fairly strong sense of community. I think the one thing I can think of is, on any given normal year where COVID's not restricting us, we have our society groups, and we're able to come together first in the fall with like a society group dinner where we introduce the new members of each society. Think Hogwarts and the sorting hat type atmosphere, and it turns into a little bit of a roast. And then throughout the year, it can be hard depending on what class you're in and what kind of call commitments you have to really come together. But thinking back to even my PGY2 year, we would routinely go out to the seaport when the weather was nice just for some after work drinks and different things like that. And on the other side, there's a lot of family involved in HCORP. In the Better Halves Society is a good way for people to bring their families together and their significant others, for them to get to know each other and everyone in the program. So I think that the community is surprisingly strong given how big of a residency we are.
One of the other things that really drew me to HCORP is the strong emphasis on diversity in orthopedics, particularly women in orthopedics. I've found great mentors here and a great community for support for women in orthopedics. We have multiple events throughout the year, ranging from residents to fellows to attendings to all get together and talk about our shared experience, and it's been a really lovely community to be a part of and a very supportive one.
There are not many other places that mentorship is as readily available and as tailored to you and as effective as it can be here. We have a faculty, an active teaching faculty of more than 100 world leaders who each have something to offer. There's nobody who leaves here without a few profound mentors. And by profound mentors, I don't just mean somebody who will let you write some papers with them or help you get into a fellowship of your choice. I mean somebody who will keep track of your career, who will follow you and advise you, who will keep opening doors for you for a lifetime.
Every year, at the end of the academic year and right before graduation, the residents each sit down and present their thesis for their time here. And every single year, I am amazed by the amazing work that's being done, whether it's international volunteer work, basic science research, clinical research, or even some educational projects. The quality of the work and the diversity of interests is just amazing.
I think the things that I'll look back on most fondly about my time here, really just the connections I formed with my co-residents, as well as my mentors. I think making the trip up to Boston for this time is really introduced me to a group of people that if I hadn't come up here, I wouldn't have met, and they're going to be lifelong friends, colleagues, mentors, and people that I hope to stay connected with for the rest of my life.
For me, I feel confident with my skills as a third year. I see it now at Children's where I am left or given more autonomy, and I notice how my skills have improved, how everything that I'm learning is building on each other so that I become the surgeon that I hope to be. And I truly believe that the opportunities here are second to none.
You know, I look back vividly as an intern, spending every night on call with the overnight PGY3 and how, you know, those are some of the best memories of residency, and, you know, how, you know, still to this day, those two people are people I talk to almost on a, you know, daily or weekly basis, and continue to, you know, seek out advice and catch up on their family lives even as they've moved on from HCORP. I think one of the special things about this program is, you know, finding those bonds that you have and being able to carry them forward with you in your career and for lifelong, and have lifelong friendships.
Given the opportunity, I wouldn't hesitate to choose HCORP again. This has been a dream come true, and all my expectations have been fulfilled. And I think that the program is just getting better and better with time.
Residency is really hard, no matter where you go or what you do. And I think that what you want is a place and a community of people that you can call upon and, you know, look back on fondly, and that will stay engaged in your life moving forward. And I think without a doubt that there are people here who will be lifelong friends, both my co-residents, my peers, and also some of the faculty and mentors that I've gathered throughout the 5 years. So I will certainly look back fondly, but also recognize that, you know, it's not over, it's not done, and that these people are going to be in my life and in my career forever.
We're thrilled to answer any questions that you may have. Please reach out to me through our website and the contact information for the residency program.